What's going on, everybody? TG here, back with another video. We are back and we are here on the E-Trade platform. Finally, the assets have transferred over from Robinhood. We are at a real brokerage and we are ready to trade. Currently resolving some margin issues and money stuff as the transfer process happens. There's usually a little bit of stuff that goes on in that, but hopefully market hours, things will open up and we will be back and ready to go again. I'm excited, guys. I'm really excited to start trading. One of the things I wanted to talk about mainly in this video is the airlines. As we guys know, on Friday, an article came out talking about how airline travel is picking up based on TSA records. Highest passenger screenings in nearly a year. Now, if you remember, we go back a year ago today. Let's look at the JETS index. This tracks the U.S. Airline companies. The airlines are taking a bit of a hit. We look right here, February 14th to March 14th. It's a 60% decline in 1 month. Got even lower in May as 61%. But, a year ago today, the JETS index is sitting at about $16. And then it continued to go down even a little bit more a couple days after that to around $12. Since then, since those lows in March, right about here, it has absolutely soared over 121%. Obviously a huge rebound in the airlines. And I think one of the biggest reasons why the airlines are starting to go up so much is they've had a lot of good news back to back to back. Let's start off with one. Number one, stimulus. There was airline bailouts multiple times that were bailing these airlines out, allowing them to keep the people employed, keep the flights going. That is one. Another thing is pent-up demand. We have been sitting in a pandemic for so long, sitting in quarantine, wanting to do something we have not been able to. But now, with vaccinations out and available to a decent percent of the population, people are taking advantage of being vaccinated and going on trips. Another big reason, the money. People have been saving up for over a year. There has not been many leisurely activities that people have been able to do if you live in certain states. You have been saving up a lot, and especially now, for not me, but for a lot of people who are living in cold states, they want to get the heck out of the snow. They want to go down to paradise. They want to enjoy themselves finally. After a year of being cooped up, there's so much pent-up demand. And with, obviously, stimulus again, people are getting even more money. More stimulus has been passed. $1,400 to most Americans. And that's $1,400 that they can spend to go on vacation. People want to get out. People want to do stuff. Okay, and that's one of the reasons the airlines have been doing so well. Now, obviously, those are some pros. Those are obviously big pros in the airlines, but I also want to talk about some of the negatives. Now, it's not all of them, but some of these airlines like Southwest, which is one of my favorite stocks actually. Southwest, $56 in February, $54, $55. It's now at $61. Southwest is higher now than it was pre-pandemic. That's a little alarming. That's a little scary. You look at earnings as well, and they're not that spectacular. They're really not. They're still losing a ton of money, over $1 billion. You look at a quarter ago today, they're making money. So, the fact that they were making money a year ago today, and now they are losing money, and yet their stock is valued higher than it is now, that's a little bit alarming. Another thing is American Airlines. American Airlines, again, another company that is up huge from where it was. Obviously, not exactly to where it was, pre-pandemic. It's still a little bit underneath. But man, the stock has gone up so much. And again, you look at the earnings. They lost $2 billion. They're losing over 50% of all their revenue. So the stock should be technically declining if you base it off fundamentals. But the stocks have been absolutely flying. It lost $2.2 billion in the first quarter of 2020 alone and accepted government aid. So obviously, they're accepting more financing packages, more debt. And as we know, debt hurts companies. Debt is something that takes a long time to get out of. Those interest payments add up and you end up digging yourself a deeper hole the more debt you have. I mean, this company is worth $16 billion right now, and their debt is extraordinary. They're taking out lots of loans, both from government and private entities, bailouts, okay? There's a couple other ones that I want to talk about. You have Delta, you have Spirit Airlines, and Boeing. Boeing's a little bit different because Boeing actually manufactures planes, so they're in a different segment than this, in my opinion. I like Boeing. I think Boeing's solid. Has it had a bit of a run-up? Yes, it has gone up a pretty tremendous amount recently. about 30% in the past month. That's a little bit alarming. But also, people are ordering planes. Boeing's getting new orders. Also with potential China deals, working with China now that a new leader regiment is in power. They're going to be more friendly and open to working with China, and China might continue to order some Boeing equipment. Boeing is also in the defense industry. They're kind of like a Lockheed Martin, telecommunications equipment, missiles, different stuff like that. And they sell rockets and aircrafts and stuff like that to other entities. So, this is a little bit different. They're not exactly on the passenger side, but, there's been a lot of talk about the airlines. And, Kevin O'Leary, if you guys don't know who Kevin O'Leary is, he's the guy from Shark Tank. He is really against the airlines, and he's actually shorting the airlines as of right now. He went on and said that we shouldn't give the airlines any aid. We don't need all of them. And so that leaves people wondering, if we don't continue to bail out these airlines, which airlines are going to fail? Which ones are most subjected to failure? And it's actually American. If you look at it, American is the one that would probably fail. They have the most debt. Without bailout, there is no possible way that they can survive. These are facts. Without aid, without these big bailouts, American Airlines cannot simply survive. Losing that much, look at that, like $2 billion last quarter, $2.4 billion the quarter before that, $2 billion before that, $2.2 billion before that. You can't survive losing that much money every single quarter, okay? And yes, obviously COVID is a big impact, but it's beside the point, the fact that if they don't have bailout, they don't survive. And so, people like Kevin O'Leary, he's even shorting the airlines, and he's even saying, we don't need all these. And there's a lot of taxpayers that agree with that. He does not think taxpayer money should go towards bailing these airlines out. I personally like airlines. I like the competition. I think you let these airlines compete. You let them drive their prices down. You help the consumers. If I want to go buy a plane ticket and there's only 3 airlines, they can charge whatever they want. We have to buy them. If there's 10 airlines, they can price gouge each other and compete. And in a sense, that gives the consumer a better deal. And I like that a lot better. So I'm thinking that there's going to obviously continue to be more pent-up demand for travel. I mean, that's obvious. People want to travel. But is that baked in already? We've seen the airlines, even in the last 6 months, just go up exponential amounts, 50% in 6 months. It's an extraordinary amount that this thing has gone up. And, since the lows that it's made in May to now, we're talking about 130% gain. And like I said, a lot of these airlines are higher now than they were before this pandemic. So how that is, it's a little alarming, and maybe valuations are a little bit out of hand, especially when you consider the loss that some of these companies have had. So it's something to look forward to. It's something to look at, and maybe a potential short position. I'm not going to bet against the airlines, but if we continue to bail these airlines out, that's what they're going to be able to stay. But if we stop giving aid to these airlines and they end up taking the fall, it's going to be pretty difficult. So I thought it'd be interesting to look at, because seeing a statistic like this, people are traveling more now than ever in the past year. So it's a lot. It's a lot of people traveling, and you're seeing from going in April of 87,500 people traveling to now almost 4 million people traveling. That's a significant uptick. That's a significant one. Highest number of passengers in a single day since last year. So, it's something to look at, and it's something to definitely watch, because some of these airlines may be overvalued. But at the same time, it might not stop. It really won't. We've seen a transition from tech stocks to more Dow stocks and more value plays, and a lot of people consider these value plays. I personally don't. I like the airlines a couple months ago, but I don't really like them anymore. I think their valuations are getting way out of hand. I mean, especially Southwest. I mean, how is Southwest? I love the company. I think the CEO is a great guy as well. But it should not be higher now than it has been in the past 5 years. That's just ridiculous. Well, maybe one time in July of 2017, but it should not be higher now than it was pre-pandemic. That makes no sense when they're just losing an absolute boatload of money. So I think that's just ridiculous. I mean, you're seeing a lot of these companies like that. They're higher now than they were back then, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. So watch them closely, but I think the airlines are out of stock, out of style now. I don't think playing them anymore is a smart thing to do. I think they've just run up way too much, and there's no reason to invest in them. When they're losing so much money, why would you be investing in a company that has already run up so much? So I don't know. It's something to look at, something to think about, but I thought it was interesting and good to talk about it. And a lot of you guys have been asking about what I think about airlines and stuff like that. We'll go into cruise lines in a different video, but as of right now, I just wanted to talk about the airlines and the different ones, and even the ETF. If you guys do want to track the ETF, it's called Jets. So take a look at it. Let me know what you guys think, and remember to like and subscribe. Hope you guys had a great weekend, and let's get back in this week soaring and ready to rock. Have a wonderful day, guys. Catch you guys in the next video. Bye.